unprecedented on Election Day, and their vote will be pivotal in battleground states like Nevada because the latest poll in Nevada shows Trump and Clinton locked in a virtual tie, 43-43. CNN's Ana Cabrera spoke to Latino voters there. She joins us live from Las Vegas. Good morning, Ana.
Good morning, Allison. Latinos make up nearly 20% of the voters in this state, and given how close the race is here, you could see why they can have a significant impact in determining who wins the election in this state. Now, we got off the Las Vegas Strip, away from these bright, shiny lights, and we talked candidly to voters in their neighborhood, to Latinos. And we talked about what's important to them this election cycle as we explored the power of the Latino vote.
I didn't have papers. I didn't have a family in the United States. The only thing I have is a big bag of dreams.
Flor Cardona immigrated from Mexico 16 years ago.
This is my son. He's 21 now.
Cardona is a single mom, a high school counselor, a cancer survivor, and now a U.S. citizen.
Last Saturday, I voted for first time.
Voting early for Hillary Clinton.
I stand for her because, first of all, is a strong woman like me.
Why not Donald Trump?
Donald Trump, attack Latinos, attack women, attack the community.
Does the Trump campaign care about the Latino vote?
Absolutely. Since prior to the caucus here, we've been engaging the Hispanic community on a near daily basis.
Both campaigns believe they need this voting bloc.
Making sure that Latinos turn out in high rates is a strategic priority for us.
Both camps have deployed Spanish-speaking canvassers, and the Clinton team has invested in Spanish-language ads.
Como presidenta, solo Hillary Clinton.
They're targeting a possible record number of Hispanic voters this year, with 27.3 million eligible to cast ballots, an increase of 4 million since 2012, according to the Pew Research Center. And in at least 4 battlegrounds, including Nevada, Arizona, Florida, and Colorado, the share of the Latino vote 4 years ago was larger than the 10% share nationwide. It's exactly why statements like this,
we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out,
have GOP pollster Whit Ayers shaking his head.
We don't have enough time in this interview to list all of Donald Trump's mistakes.
Ayers points to his party's so-called autopsy of what went wrong in 2012, when Mitt Romney won just 27% of the Latino vote. The RNC wrote in its post-mortem report, if Hispanic Americans perceive that a GOP nominee or candidate does not want them in the United States, i.e. self-deportation, they will not pay attention to our next sentence.
Given the growth of the Hispanic vote, for a Republican to be competitive, they need to be somewhere north of 40% among Hispanics.
Is that possible?
Absolutely. Look, Latinos want what everyone else wants. They want a better quality of life.
I think we are going down the wrong path.
Irma Aguirre is an entrepreneur. El Sombrero Mexican Bistro is her pride and joy.
This is a celebration of my heritage.
Yet she's not offended by Trump's comments about Mexicans.
I did not hear him insult Mexicans. What I heard him say was that Mexico basically allows a lot of the corruption to flow over into our country.
And she supports Trump because he knows business.
Someone that I know is a doer, like myself, has a dream, has a vision, and brings it to reality by working super, super hard.
Jobs, economic equality, education. These are the issues Latinos tell us they care most about. Now, immigration reform is important too, but it's certainly not the only issue driving this voting bloc. Chris?
All right, Anna, thank you very much. Very well done. Hillary Clinton's campaign touting a 99% increase in Hispanics who have already voted in the must-win state of Florida. Let's discuss what each campaign offers Latinos, all right? So we have founder of Latinas for Trump, Denise Galvez, and political director for the Florida Democratic Party, Mayra Macias. Thank you to both of you ladies being with me this morning. So recent polling suggests that Clinton's going to get about 51% of the Sunshine State's Hispanic vote, 51-36. So let's start on that basis, and let's start with the pro-Clinton angle here, Mayra. What does Hillary Clinton do for Latinos that justifies this lead in the polls?
Well, Chris, first of all, thank you so much for having this conversation so important to not just Florida, but across the country. And, you know, before I was a Democrat, I was born the daughter of Mexican immigrants. And at a very fundamental level, Hillary Clinton respects our community. That's something that Donald Trump has not demonstrated, not just by calling us rapists, criminals, drug dealers, but in his latest debate saying bad hombres were, you know, prevalent amongst us. And I think, policy aside, a fundamental lack of respect for our community is what is costing him this election.
Now, let me follow with you 1 second, Myra. Some of my best friends are Cubanos from southern Florida, and I got to tell you, they like Trump. And they say, hey, this idea that all I care about is being able to get into the country easily is silly. Most of us are here legally. Almost all of us are here legally. And I care about the economy. I'm a small business guy. I want strong immigration. So is this idea that all Latinos are offended by Trump far-fetched?
Well, I don't presume to speak for all Latinos, but I will say that being on the ground, and not just in Miami, but in Orlando, where we have a huge contingent of Puerto Rican voters, I've heard firsthand that folks are offended. And even though this isn't necessarily an issue of immigration, you're disrespecting our community. And when I'm walking down the street versus when a Cuban person is walking down the street, the average American doesn't understand the nuances between our ethnic groups, and Donald Trump is enabling people to continue to perpetuate these bigoted ideas about our community. Not only that, he's enabling folks like former governor of Arizona, Jan Brewer, to say, you know what, these people don't vote, you have nothing to worry about. And that is just disrespectful, and it's a slap in the face of not just Mexican immigrants, but all Latinos who are being mischaracterized as one homogenous group.
All right, and Denise, and what do you tell people when they come to you if they're expressing these concerns? What do you say to justify why you support Donald Trump?
I mean, two things you both just touched upon. Number one, she said policy aside. Well, guess what? Most Latinos in this country do care about policy. And you said it earlier in your segment. They care about jobs. They care about the economy. They fled their countries. The majority. And this, I can say this for all Latinos, the majority of them fled their countries to basically escape the same policies that Hillary proposes. Okay, they want less government interference, less regulation. Okay, they came here for economic opportunities. So to say policy aside, yeah, that's real simple, of course. Let's talk more about the rhetoric. No, let's stick to policy. Policy is what matters to those Latinos. The ones that you spoke to that are business owners and entrepreneurs, they get it. That's why they're supporting Trump. They don't want more of the same policies that led to corruption in their home countries. They're here for economic opportunities. That's what's a priority to them.
But you have
That's why they're supporting Donald Trump.
You have a big gap, though, right? Because they're not supporting Donald Trump, right? In Florida, you got about 50 to 30 something. Overall, it's like 70 to 17. So there must be something to the idea that Latinos feel insulted. What do you say to them when they say, hey, man, you heard what he says about us. You heard what he said about that judge. What do you say in response?
I tell them, if you care about policy and the future of this country, then you vote for Trump. If you want more of the same policies that you had in the countries you fled, you vote for Hillary.
So you ignore what he said about your community?
We do ignore it because most of it is not true. Okay, what started all of this, his original campaign speech when he decided to run for president, what started this entire, oh, he hates Mexicans BS, quite frankly, was a speech that was taken out of context, where they ignored the sentence following where he said most Mexicans come into this country are criminals and rapists. Well, guess what? He said right after that I guess a lot of them are good people. Okay, so everybody ignores that statement, and they put it, and they think that he hates immigrants. He's not anti-immigrant. He's pro-American. So if you're pro-America and pro-American opportunities and economic opportunities, then you're for Trump.
Myra, you winced when Denise said that. Tell me why, but then also finish by telling me why you think on the policy side your candidate is the right choice for Latinos.
And let me just clarify, when I said policy aside, I was just talking about at a fundamental level. If you cannot respect our people, how are you going to govern? How are you going to create policy that meets the need of our community? But let's stick to the policy, because Secretary Clinton has demonstrated time and time again that she has substantive plans. Within the first 100 days of her tenure, she said she would work on immigration reform. And I know we said immigration reform is not an issue that affects all Latinos, but guess what? She has an economic plan that is substantive, that is going to not just help the 1% and give tax cuts to those who don't need them. And I haven't heard any substantive policy coming from Donald Trump. Latinos care about education because guess what? As Denise was saying, folks are fleeing their country for economic education opportunity. Well, Hillary Clinton has a plan to not only enhance public education, but to make college more affordable.
Ladies, both of you, thank you for the reasoned discussion on this. Appreciate it. You're both welcome back on New Day anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, there's a lot of news and developments in the election and otherwise. So let's get to it.